Hi, I'm Jazz Tangcay, Critics' Choice Association member, and this is In Conversation With. Joining me today, we have writer and director Tim Fehlbaum, co-writer Moritz Binder, and editor Hansjo Weissbrich from Paramount Pictures September 5. Hello and welcome to you all.
Hi.
Thanks for having us.
Hi,
Jess.
Hi, thank you so much for being here. I mean, this is truly an incredible feat, an incredible film. What I really love about it is just how, you tell the story from the perspective of the ABC Sports News team, of the 1972 Munich Olympics terrorist attack. I'm curious, how did you land on telling the story from this perspective? Where did that all begin?
Maybe I can start with talking about that. First of all,
Yes.
thank you very much for the nomination. We are really proud of that. And it was a really big honor for us. When we started working on this movie, actually, we would have never thought that we would be part of these end of year discussions, and it made an incredible journey. And so we are quite overwhelmed. Yeah, as I just said, we started with a little movie in a way, but before we found our angle, we quite broadly researched on the subject. I'm coming from having done 2 science fiction movies in a way, post-apocalyptic sci-fi movies. When approaching a story of that is based on a historical event, and especially on such a important historical event, the first thing that we try to do before even to write a single word is to do as much research as possible. I first learned of the subject September 5 when I saw a documentary in the movie theaters that I'm sure a lot of people have seen. I saw it in the year 2000 as a teenager. It's called One Day in September by Kevin MacDonald. And that had left a huge impact on me. And then I studied in Munich, and in Munich, as Moritz has also studied in Munich, and in Munich, these housings where it happened, the story is generally, even after all these years, very present. And these housings where it happened today are student housings, and partly we shot a lot of student films there, right, Moritz, in that area. A lot of student films are shot there, and you would always know that this is actually the apartment where this tragedy happened. And this is the balcony where that image has been taken of the masked man on the balcony, and I was always interested also in that image. And as we then did the research, we more and more found out what an important role the media played on that day. And as we got deeper into research to that, we had a research conversation, actually a Zoom call just like this, like that was supposed to be 15 minutes or so, but ended up like being more than 2 hours, with Jeffrey Mason. And Jeffrey Mason is the character in the movie played by John Magaro. And he was there working as a 20-year-old rookie for ABC Sports and experienced this 22-hour of marathon, was all the time there in that room, and listening to his stories and what challenges they faced. That was so interesting and so seemed also so relevant, especially from today's point of view in a way, also that media perspective, that sparked the idea for the first time, maybe we can tell it entirely from that perspective.
We have to give, props to Hansjo for this incredible editing job that you have done on this film. It's the archival footage, but it's also, creating this tension. I read that you were actually involved 2 years before the start of filming. How did you balance and work out what the tone would be?
Yeah, I had a very playful approach in the beginning. They shot tons of material, like they shot everything with 2 cameras. Everything was handheld. Every take was different from the other. So that was kind of a documentary styled way of storytelling, and that was the overall approach to film the story like a documentary film team would do, like the guys we are telling the story about would film the story. And it ended with and it ended up with long takes. You wouldn't assume that when you see the actual movie, because it's fast-paced, edited. We wanted to keep the story and the storytelling kinetic in a situation which would have been easily be a situation like people sitting in front of a monitor wall and staring at the monitors. So the ultimate goal was to keep it kinetic, to keep it suspenseful, to keep it riveting, and to keep the audience on the edge of their seats. And then another challenge was how do you maintain the suspense with a story where the audience already know the outcome?
I mean, in a way, this is a movie about people in their working environment. So all of this should have been 100% accurate. And so these devices should also work partly so that the cast could actually interact with it. So because the idea on how to shoot it was that we tried to recreate these moments as we imagined from the script, as they must have happened in that control room on that day, as much as possible in real. So everything that would come through these devices, monitors, walkie-talkies, telephones, etc., would happen in real, and we would just cover it in long takes. I actually, by the way, this is not my, I stole this idea in a way from when I saw Paul Greengrass's United 93 with audio commentary, and he was talking about how he recreated these air traffic control scenes. And this is so greatly done that I thought, like, I'm gonna steal that idea. And anyway, and then we covered it. And this leads to this authentic moments in a way. But the flip side to the coin is that it just gathers a lot of material. That is why Hansjo has been so essential in shaping the movie. Like his work is really there's a lot of material there that he had to bring in place.
I guess my last question is, you know, there's so much stress when you're watching this. What was it like for you seeing the final cut, and how stressful was it to watch the movie for each of you? Moritz, I'm going to start with you.
I was very stressed, and I was very happy about that, because this is kind of the thing we try to achieve here, is to condense the feeling Jeffrey was talking about when he took us through his 22 hours over and over again. He talked about that feeling, which was almost like a rush that day to get something done that was never done before, and to get it done right. And I think this feeling is something we really wanted to capture. And I was so happy when I saw Hansjo's editing there, because it really got that feeling across to the audience. And yeah, I was stressed, but happily stressed.
Hansjo, what about for you?
I think I realized how stressful the viewing experience is when I saw it at the premiere in Venice, because for an editor, you know, you're deep into the editing process, and you're shaping and you need a little bit of distance to really assess like emotionally what how stressful the level is, and yeah.
Fabulous. Tim, what about for you in a sentence or two?
Screening that I had recently, where a woman came up to me afterwards and she said to me she worked already under Rune Arlich back then and television, and this movie for her felt like 90 minutes going back to work, and that was a big compliment because our film is also about work. And another one is when I watched the film for the first time with Sean McManus, who is the son of the host in the movie, Tim Fehlbaum, and he watched it with his son. And his reaction after the screening, when he turned to his son and proudly said, "Hey, wow, that is your grandfather there," that made me really proud.
Amazing. I want to congratulate you all on everything September 5. Thank you so much for that incredible conversation and insight into the film. And again, congratulations on the nominations, and thank you all so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.